treated.
Oh.
And it's not heavy.
It's heavy to me. Dad, can you help me?
Hold it right on that line. Caden, you make sure it's on the line, okay? No, just hold it right there. Put pressure on it. There you go. Hold it.
Hold on.
Alright, go ahead and snap it.
I can no.
Okay, no, that's good.
That's good.
That's more than enough. Alright.
I want to try.
You gotta find that mark again. There it is.
Right there. Was that where the line was though?
Alright. Alright, we're gonna flip it up this way.
Okay, good. Good. After. Okay. Now we're gonna try to set it in the thing. Okay, Noah? Okay. See where the other board is? Yeah. We're gonna try to put it in the hole.
Good job.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Push.
I'm pushing.
Push. There you go.
Good. Perfect.
All right, now because that's 3.5 inches, we're gonna have to put a little piece of 1/2 inch plywood in there to make up the rest of it.
Oh. saying it's bad. Oh.
Good job.
Oh. Good.
Good.
Yeah. Good. Don't have that. Get over.
All right, so the fun begins. So we need some 2x8s, 2x8x12s. So that's these right here. Why don't you grab one and I'll show you what you can do with it. I'm gonna make you the master crowner. All right, just slap it right on there. All right, now first thing we're gonna check. Let's make sure. Perfect.
Perfect.
Although it was 5 years ago, I put this foundation in very precisely, somehow. What you need to do is crown these. They all need to have the crown going up. That way, when you put weight on it, it sags down, but you don't want it starting down, because then it'll get worse. So, you know, look down this. Come here. Now look down that. Now, which way does that crown go? So which way do you want this board flipped? Do you want the crown going up? Look on this plane only. Don't worry about anything else.
And this board has to be flipped upside down.
That's correct. All right, now look at it. Look at the crown. See the crown?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you want. I don't know if you guys can pick that up on camera, but it's got a slight crown, probably, yeah, it could be almost 1/4 of an inch, at least 3/16 that it humps up in the middle. So you always want to face that up when you're doing a floor. So here's what we're gonna do, Caden. Every time you get one, just slide it on flat.
Slide it on flat?
Yeah, don't worry about standing it up. There you go. Now, let's come back to this one, and here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take a mark or a pencil. You're gonna put a mark with the arrow going up. There's the crown. That way, if it falls down, you know which way it goes. You don't have to redo it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So let's see. I picked out some pretty good boards, so there's not really gonna be a lot of crowns, but there's gonna be on some of them. And some of them are gonna be pretty hard to decipher, but
Kinda. I'm pretty sure that that's the dip.
yep,
The one with the
that
dip.
is correct. It's not much either, but it's maybe a little over 1/16, but it's still enough. What you don't want is the crown going up on one, and even if it's only going down just slightly on the next one, that's a big difference. You can go ahead and keep getting these crowned out, and I'm gonna cut them down because I need to cut them down to 11 foot 9 inches. What?
You tell me now. No, have you seen a black lid? I literally just had it, now I don't. I don't know where it went. I did not see a black lid. So can it be wireless and not wireless?
Comes off of gas.
What? Never knew a nail gun that actually did that. That's cool. That's cool. You're not you're using the wood. No, you're using. Yeah, I'm not using a big one. I'm using small. Using. I don't think there's an E in using. I'm using. Or I'm using. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Ow. Yeah, definitely. Wait, so are you sticking two together?
Yep.
Ah.
Okay. See that line and see the X?
Yeah.
That means this side goes to the line and the board is on the X.
Okay. My side's wood. My side's good. And it's also leveled. Put it. The way he said it was just funny. Good. Yeah, now it's good. Okay, you want to help? Oh, wait, Dad, you have to do the thing. You have to slide her over. You also have to do this. You have to do this one. You did it. Yeah, it never went fully in. Start holding them over. Holding them over. I'm okay. It's gonna be more. No. Beatbox. That's pretty cool.
All right, why don't you nail that?
Just nail it right there. Oh yeah, you're right. This ain't actually that heavy. Tell me one.
Good.
That one is very far. Now,
One on the bottom. Good.
yeah. You want me to nail it?
Yeah, nail it.
Or should I do it like?
Give it some meat and then angle it.
Come here. Oh, Dad.
I'll let you do it, but right now we're running out of daylight, dude. Okay?
No, not.
Yeah, we are. We are desperately running out of daylight.
Well, I'm gonna go fishing.
Oh, we can't go fishing tonight, dude. It's too late.
No, not.
If we can get some stuff done tomorrow, then we can go fishing.
Dad. Dad. Oh, I
You already got that one.
Yeah.
We'll start right there and go that way.
I can go that way. Oh, I don't think that went through.
Yeah. Up a little bit. Up. Right there. Down a little bit. Up just a little bit. Down a little bit.
Is that good?
Up a little bit. All right.
Where's my end?
Okay. Where do we have to go for your end to be at the end? Right there?
I'm good.
Okay.
Hold on. Can you come back a little?
Yep.
Where do I need to put it?
On every one of these on the end right here. But we need to wait for me to confirm. Okay, that's good right there.
That good?
Yeah. Lay right on here though. So you're right underneath of it. Good. ahead and when you're driving it in, just go ahead and drive it in. Don't
That's for some. I think this will be the second hardest part of this whole film.
If you guys just lift up, I can push. All right, now let's slide it over this way.
That's as far as it can go. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's good. That's the Back Saver 5000 right there. That way you're not laying on rocks, sharp rocks.
Breaking your back.
Easiest thing is to let me just slide it on that board.
Actually, can you take that board right there? That one? That small one? No, that small one, right? No, with the glove. Not screwed on. No.
Alright, shift it over as best we can. Hey, you want to grab me that hammer? I got this.
Got it?
Yeah, go get me that hammer.
Dad, watch. You missed. At one point he threw it and I was like this.
Okay. Whoa. Let me see it. What is?
Just miles on. put it? Yeah, we should have brought nets.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of fish in there.
Oh, stop!
It's like 3 feet deep right there.
What? There's two what?
Those are really aggressive fish. They have a stripe like a bass, but I don't think they're bass.
Oh, they're not bass. I don't think, at least. Oh, fish!
Yeah, they're all over here.
No, don't go on the wall. 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 Stand back. You don't trip in. But you are a crazy man.
Look, we already got a big one.
Wait, is it in there?
Yeah.
Look, the fish, look! It's pulling the blade! Holy moly. I bet that's going to be like the best shot of your video. Yeah, there was a moly.
I'll have to sneak in here with the excavator and make this 10 feet deep. Look at that massive rock.
Whoa!
There's one massive rock.
That is huge.
I don't think my excavator is going to move that. Might have to just keep that in there. Look, here's another one.
What about the 240?
Even the 240 would not be able to move that.
Good.
Yep. Push it one way a little bit.
What's that? Are we allowed to walk on it without
Yeah.
instead of crawl? Okay. Because I don't want to crawl. You can walk. Just be very careful because of the crawl. If you break that, then Dad has to redo the whole thing right there. I want you to take those out to a floor.
Alright, so it's just starting to rain again now, so we got this covered up just in time. So we are gonna head home. We gotta restock up on supplies, and we've been here for a few days and we gotta go home to do a few things, but we should be back in about a week. We can start framing the walls. So this will keep this dry for now. Now I'm not worried about the subfloor, but I am worried about water getting down through the cracks and getting all in the insulation and then kind of being trapped in there. So that's why I'm putting this tarp here. And this is a brand new tarp, so there's no holes in it, so it shouldn't get any water in here. So we got a big mess to clean up around here, and then we're gonna head out. But I did put 3 solar panels here, and I'll show you what I did here. So in this little shed, I put some shelves and stuff And since I didn't want to take the batteries out of the camper yet, we're not ready to do that. I can't use that inverter. That's a 48 volt inverter. But I do have a 12 volt server rack battery, and I hooked it up to 150/70 MPPT controller, and that's for those solar panels outside. And so that's just charging that battery. Now that battery is hooked up to this inverter, which is a 2000 watt Renogy inverter, and I'm using that to charge my GoPro batteries, my drone, and all my Makita batteries. I got a little plug here with some USB ports on it, and that is also powering our internet, which is lovely. Having internet here is like the craziest thing ever. I never would have thought. These guys came in, and within a few hours they had internet here, and this is fiber, so 300 megabits down. So what I'm going to do is leave this on all the time with that battery and those 3 solar panels outside, and we're going to be able to keep track of this property with some cameras that I have outside, some wireless cameras. Yeah, I don't have electric, but I have internet, and I won't ever have electric, but I'll always have internet. And it's kind of a safety factor so that if something happens, if there's an emergency, we can get a hold of emergency responders, or, you know. Also, it's nice to be able to monitor the property to make sure nobody's coming in here that we don't want to come in here. Keeping an eye on these machines. So I'm going to park these machines up here. I'm going to have one camera looking right at them and all the building materials. And then I'm going to have one at the end of the driveway and one down by the cabin, and that way I can check up on everything all the time. And I have another one too. I'm not sure when I'm going to put that, but all right, let's see what we got. A couple hours later. Oh boy.
Oh, Nelly.
Wow.
That's a lot of fish. Oh, Nelly. Yeah. Hold on, let's put some water in here. Holy deli. Holy deli. Holy deli. Moly. Oh, I said moly. Let's start scooping them in there.
No, you don't need to scoop. Hang on.
Holy moly. Holy moly.
Well, I guess they're going in our pond now.
They're also going to go in our fish tank.
Inside of Jack.
What?
52 1/4.
Huh? Okay, that's weird.
So,
Making measurements, I don't even know.
we're going to put a Jack and a King right here.
What's a jack and a king?
Well, a Jack is what jacks up the header that holds up on top of the door. Okay, and then we want 38 inches. feeding me studs.
Wait, what do you mean?
Wait, I'm gonna do that.
Keep lining them up just like this. Yep. All right, ready? All right. This one. Level, level.
The one.
Bippity boppity boo!
Garden.
Good. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, now we gotta pull it back a little bit, okay? All right. Up. Keep that on there.
Dad, it's a spark.
All right, good. All right, you're good.
Whoa, Dad.
Yes, for that.
Dude, good save.
Just had some crusher run delivered just a few minutes ago. And the guy that delivered it, he went up the road and turned around and came back down, and there was a big black bear coming into this driveway. When he came back down, he said it was probably 300 to 400 pounds. He took pictures of the footprints, and it was as big as his foot. So that's just about as big as a black bear gets. And he said it crossed the road right here and went right into the driveway, right into here. I'm not too worried about myself, but I know that if one of my dogs sees the bear, it'll probably go after it, and then I don't want to lose my dog, so I'm just gonna stay carrying. But anyways, this is Crusher Run, which has a lot of fines in it, and it's a granite crusher run. I talked to the guy that was delivering it, and he said that the reason it's a little bit more expensive up here is because it's granite, so it's a lot harder to crush. Because this is $600 worth of stone right here. And back home, I could get this same stone for about $300 with delivery. But I'm not going to worry about this right now. I really want to get going with that cabin. Right now it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm ready to get going. And we're going to put some plywood on up there. So a quick little note here, I got a building permit for this whole project, and that's what took me so long to get started. I was originally going to do a 10 by 14, which you don't need a building permit for, but it's technically considered a shed and you're not really allowed to stay in it. Anything over 140 square feet, you need a building permit for, even a shed. But I actually got a building permit for building a tiny house. So with a tiny house, if it's under 400 square feet, excluding the loft, so only the first floor square footage, you can use what they call Appendix Q for the codes. So this building is 12 by 16. So that's 196 square feet for the first floor. So I actually could double the size of this and have a loft on both buildings, and that would be under 400 square feet. So if you're using Appendix Q for your codes for the tiny house, you can get away with these stairs, which they have an 8.5 inch rise and a 7 1/4 run. So they have more rise than run. And as long as you have 17 inches of clear width, that's the minimum that you can have on the width of these stairs. That's including the handrail. So I chose to make these 24 inches wide, which even with the handrail leaves me plenty over 17 inches. So as far as the height, most rooms you can get away with 6'8" for the minimum height instead of 7 foot. And as far as the stairway on the first floor, if you would draw a line diagonally connecting the nosing of each tread and you measure plumb up vertically, you can't have less than 6'2" at any time during the stairs until you get up to the second floor, which they consider a loft. And at that point, you can have, I believe, down to 18 inches. I know that sounds crazy, but if you're going to have a very small loft, that could happen. In this case, it's not, but on the first floor, you need to worry about 6'2". Obviously, when you're working with a small space, you're really limited to what you can do. So every inch counts. Even less than an inch counts. So I drew everything on SketchUp before I did this. So I came up with a piece of paper with all my measurements on it. So I didn't have to think about too much. The only thing I did was just sort of test out things as I was building them. So yeah, I'd rather have 30 or 36 inch wide stairs, but this works fine. I don't hit my shoulders on the sides, and it could be even smaller and I could still be within code. That's enough. No more steps.
Oh yeah, I'm hungry.
So Appendix Q gives you a lot of freedom when it comes time to tiny homes. There's a few other things on there that I might get into later in the video or on the next video. But just know that when I'm done with this building, it will be a fully legal tiny home that I can stay in whenever I want. I don't have to worry about getting a permit for a shed and then getting caught sleeping in it or something like that. This is going to be fully legal. that's good enough. Sit right there. All right, well, we got to get going here, but we spent 2 days and we were pretty productive.
Oh, here's one. Guess what?
No further than that, Noah. That's it.
Yeah, I know. La la la.
All right, right there.
How did you do this on your own?
You right on it?
Yeah, now I am right on. Hand driven in nail.
All right.
Yeah.
Now pull it back a little bit. All right, now that's good. Now let's go up with it. There you go. Perfect. Level. All right. Give me my gun. Right there.
Now?
Yep.
I nailed it? I nailed it. thing is if it's holding up to what to you doing that, then I think you built it right. Would you like me to hand you the hammer? Would you like me to go get another one?
No, it's all right.
Or you could put a nail in that one. I got the rafter. Flap them thing loose. We've actually gotten a little more fun than I expected that we would. That was square. Well, you're going up today, right? Alright, I'll never. Just a little dirty, that's it.
Alright, bring it up.
There's no cracks on the screen or anything.
I wasn't so much worried about that. What I was actually worried about was the mount breaking.
No. It's all completely intact.
Here, why don't you bring the front end over that way? Send it out. There you go. Yeah, send it right out. So you can see that that window goes above the rafter tie. That's a rafter tie, and that's also exactly where the rafter tie is going to go. It had to go above though, because it has to be an egress window, and I didn't feel like waiting for a casement window. So this is a 36 by 66, and I didn't want it any closer to the floor than 16 inches. So kind of is what it is. The tie is going to be 4 foot back from that, so it's not that big of a deal. It's not like right in front of it. But that's like the only poor design on this whole thing that I think I could have probably improved, but I didn't want to wait for a window. No, you can't come on the roof.
I want to come on the road.
You definitely can't come on the roof. Crazy boy. No, sir. Because that's just the craziest thing I've ever heard. A 4-year-old doesn't belong on a roof. I know you do, but you can't. And you can someday, when you're older. It's a good thing you have parents. Because I don't know where you'd be if you didn't have any.
I just want to go on the roof. I've never ever gone.
Noah, look, an airplane. Up in the sky. You don't see too many of those around here.
Oh, see.
You can't see it over here. All right, Kaden. Tell me if the spaces are even or not.
Should I go get the it's going in.
Yeah, but it seems like I'm resting on the flange.
What?
Am I resting on the sill or the flange?
The seal. But why do?
This log was from a customer's job that I did about 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago. And this is eastern pine, and it's already spalted a little bit. It's got a lot of colors in it. This piece isn't the greatest example, but some of these pieces. That's pretty nice looking. I usually hate working with pine because of the sap, but I gotta admit that looks pretty good. But I think the reason this one doesn't have sap is because it's been sitting for almost 2 years. Hemlock is nice, but it doesn't have that kind of color. Alright, so here I am about to try this out for the first time. So I'm not going to plug in the UV light until I actually turn on the pump. I'm going to have a switch here that's going to turn both the pump and the UV light on at the same time, because the pump is run off of DC. So I have this little lithium iron phosphate battery here, and here's the leads to the pump. So I'm just going to connect this. We'll fill up the filters and turn that on, and we'll let the water go into that container just to kind of test everything out. That way I know I have water. Then we can work on getting the water out of there into the other pump, going into a tankless water heater there, and then we can disperse the hot water from there to the sink, from the sink to the shower, and so on and so forth. But for right now, I'm dying to test this out to see what this water looks like going through the filters, and hopefully it comes out clean inside of that barrel. Alright, so we got some water. Alright, so filling up the filters. I can tell they are probably almost full. So now we should be getting some water into the tank. And we sure are. Hopefully it's pretty clean. Oh, well, I got that open right now, so I guess that's not very good, but we'll just put a little bit of water in there, that's fine. Looks pretty clean, it's not muddy. Let's take a peek. Oh yeah, that's nice and clean. That is definitely nice and clean. I mean, I knew it was muddy going in. It's gonna be muddy for a little while, but those filters made it nice. So that's about the most I can put in there without hooking something up to that. So I guess that's about where we're gonna stop that right now, and then I'll get the pump hooked up right here to bring the water out, and we'll continue on. But that's a major step right there. Now, one thing that I was really hoping for, and this is one of the main reasons I wanted to do this whole setup, is that pump should allow this water to drain back. That's exactly what I want it to do. I want all the water to drain right back into the well. There's no check valve down there, and that pump should allow water to just go right through it. So right now, as we speak, I'm pretty sure it's draining back. I can hear some bubbles. So at that point, everything from there drops down into the tank, and it's gravity fed. There's no ups and downs. It just goes down, down, down. So from there, goes down, 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 over to here. And then I had to have this here because just the way that this is set up. So I put a little drain port on the bottom here, so I can just open that up. That's the last thing I'll do, and that'll just get rid of everything from about here to here, this little U-shaped piece right here. Everything from about here up should drain into here, drain here, and then go back in here, drain. Everything is drained down. So the only thing I need to drain is this little U-shaped piece right here. We'll just crack this little piece open right here, and that should do the trick. So another thing that I know I'm gonna have to do is drain these filters every time I leave. But I don't think that's that bad. Hopefully it's just that, and then just crack open the faucets and drain all the water out of there, because I don't want it to be a big shutdown procedure every time I leave. I just want to crack a few valves and be on my way. So I know that's kind of Frankenstein together. That's not how I would normally do this, but I'm trying to get it to where the back side I can put some insulation. I don't want to insulate anything beyond this because I want the heat from the building to go into it. So I'm thinking behind there, I'm going to just spray foam the whole thing. Just use a can of that great stuff. That way the whole thing behind here is all encapsulated with as much insulation as it can have. And then from that point on, I'll leave that bare. And the whole purpose, and I've thought about this for a while. There's a lot of things that I've thought about for a while, but this is one of them. What I want to do is plumb that down with the hot and cold and go over this way. And over here is going to be the kitchen, and then there's going to be a tankless water heater right here. And also there's going to be a small vanity right here. So what I'm going to do is come down with the plumbing, go underneath the vanity, and then underneath the vanity I'm going to have a T with a drain on it so that when I'm not using that or when I leave, I can just crack that valve and all the water goes back in underneath there. I could put something as simple as this right here, just a ball valve with a little port on it to drain. And so as long as I keep that gravity fed going down that way, really there's not going to be that much in there because I made sure to put a spigot on the bottom like you would normally have for a tub, even though this is for a shower. The reason is because I want to be able to drain everything that's in here and above for the shower too. This shower is going to come up and I'm going to have a rain head up here, and so that I want to drain back down and through here, and then the lines that are coming in here can drain back underneath the vanity. And then the vanity I'm going to have go up to the kitchen sink so that the kitchen sink can drain into the vanity as well, so that all three things drain into the bottom of the vanity, which I can just have a little container that'll take like a pint of water each time. I'll just drain that, drain that, drain that into it. And then from the kitchen sink, I'll head upwards to the tankless water heater, which is going to be right there. That way the tankless can drain to there, which will in turn drain to there. So everything has a path where it will drain, and I've thought about this a lot. The last thing you want is to have a place where water can get trapped. So you want it going downhill one way or the other to a point where you can drain it. Alright, so we just got here about an hour ago and I spent some time cleaning up, and it's dark, so I'm going to work inside. The first thing I'm going to do is reinforce these joists. So I've got a bunch of 7-inch strips of OSB that I cut ahead of time and brought up, and we're going to stagger them so that they go 8 feet, 4 feet, and then 8 feet and 4 feet, so that they overlap by 4 feet. So there's going to be 2 layers on each joist, and I'm going to go upstairs and bounce around a little bit and show you how much those joists move right now. Hopefully you can see it, and then when we're done I'll show you how much less they bounce around. So like I said, 8 foot for the first section, then 4 feet, then overlap it again with 8 feet, and then 4 feet. That extra 4 feet, the last piece, is probably not necessary, but it's only a couple boards, so whatever. The main thing is to overlap the first section. So each one of these is essentially kind of like a laminated beam. So now I'm going to go up there and bounce the same way I did before, and let's see how much bounce we have in the floor. Alright, so I noticed that there is still a little bit of bounce. One thing that's definitely going to help, first of all, when the adhesive actually dries, that will help a little bit. Second off, I need to put some bridging in between here. Probably just one set of bridging going down the middle is fine. So that will help distribute the weight between the joists. So I'm going to do that and then we'll check it again. I just realized I don't have any 2x8s to do that, so we'll have to do that later. But you guys will have to take my word for it. I'll show you later if I can remember. But now we can move on to something else. The main thing about this was that I wanted to get this done so that I could run wires and pipes through this, because otherwise you gotta like notch out for them later. Okay, so the pump that I'm gonna be installing here is for an RV, and it's a C-Flow 33 series automatic demand diaphragm pump. This is the 120 volt version. I really didn't want to mess with 12 volts, even though that was my intention at first. I changed my mind about that. I should have done the same thing with the well pump over there, done it 120 volts, but I had a different vision when I was getting this stuff. So as I progressed along, I kind of changed things. But anyways, this pump, basically what it does, if you're not familiar with like an RV pump, it basically gives it a constant pressure and turns on only when it needs to. So this one is set at 45 psi. And what that does, it's basically like a pressure tank where it keeps a constant pressure, and when it loses pressure, it turns on and pumps it up. And I believe this one is a variable speed, so it's not just on and off. It kind of ramps up and ramps down depending on how much flow you need. The one that I have in the camper is really annoying because it's either on or off. So it's just like, it's like really annoying when you're using the water because it's just turning on and off. I don't know if maybe I need to adjust it or something, but I definitely didn't want that here. So I didn't want to get involved in a pressure tank and a regular well pump where everything is just pressurized all the time. There's a bunch of different reasons why, but just know that for this application in this off-grid cabin here, this is a really good option. Other companies make a similar pump, but I read for 15-20 minutes about it, and this seemed to be a pretty high quality one, so I wanted to get this one. It's got like a rubber base so it doesn't vibrate too much. So the goal is to mount it right there on the bottom, and I'm going to have a valve that's got a drain plug in it because that's going to be one of the lowest points. So once it leaves there, it's going to go up and stay going up until it reaches over there, and then it's going to go down. So when I actually go to drain it, everything's going to drain back from there all the way down, and then it will drain out of that spot right there, which I'm probably going to have like a ball valve, because there's actually going to be quite a bit that drains back there. So I'll probably have a T with a ball valve that shoots down through the floor and goes underneath the cabin. That way, if it drains, half a gallon or something, it's kind of annoying if you do that with those ball valves with the little drains on them. And this just has a regular 1/2-inch NPT on it. And they give you stuff to convert to that RV type of pipe, but we're not going to be using that. We're going to be using PEX. Now we're heating the place. A lot better than that propane heater. Those things are great, but they put out a lot of moisture, and they also take the oxygen from the air, so they're not that great. This is nice clean heat because all the exhaust goes outside. Plus this has a thermostat on it too, so I can set it whatever I need and just leave it, whereas that's just sort of low and high. So this is what we're going to be using until I get that wood stove put in over there. Man, I am so glad to be done with that roof. Let's go do something fun. Alright, so since we are not venting this roof, we need to spray foam it. I was going to use some rigid boards and seal them around the outside, but you know what? I'm just going to spend the extra money, seal it up good, and do it right. Because I think technically if the rigid boards are underneath of the roof and not on top of the roof deck, then they don't count towards being able to not vent it. So even though I could most likely get away with that, nobody's gonna stop me, nobody's gonna notice, but I just figured let's just do it right. I bought one of these little froth packs, the 200 square foot ones, and I got another 650 foot froth pack on the way, but I had to order that, so I figured if I could stretch this one out to get 1 inch on everything, then that would help, because the biggest problem I have in here is that the surface needs to be above, it should be around 70 degrees, 80 is even better. So it's hard to do that when it's really cold outside. But once I have 1 inch of insulation on here, today is a pretty warm day and I've been heating it all day in here. And I figured if I can get that 1 inch on there, then I can spray the rest of it kind of whenever, because first of all, it'll hold the heat a lot better, because we got all these spaces around the outside which are leaking air. And so I put blocks there so that mice and bugs and stuff can't get in, but it's not sealed up perfectly. So we need to seal that up. But my point is that once I get this 1 inch of insulation here, it will be much easier to heat in here. Plus, the plywood also will not be thermally transferring when it's cold, so I can pretty much do the other few inches whenever. I can do them at nighttime. Right now I don't really want to stop what I'm doing outside because daylight is very crucial right now, but it's the warmest it's going to be, so I kind of have no choice. So you can also see along the ridge there that that's also got some daylight, and then between the boards there's no daylight, but it definitely is leaking air. So all that will be sealed up, and then we can add a few inches later, and then this place will be super sealed up. I don't think I'm going to do it with the walls. I'll use whatever I have left over, but I think we're just going to stick with the rigid insulation on the walls just because it is a lot of money for spray foam. And I already have the foam and I already have it cut for the bays, so there's no sense in wasting all of it for that. And I got it for super, super cheap. Cheaper than fiberglass. So we'll use those on the walls. So let's get going. I've already been heating these tanks all day. It says that they are around 85 degrees right now. I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm gonna take an infrared gun and I'm gonna shoot those. I'm gonna shoot the ceiling in a few places and we'll see. Just wanna make sure that everything is above 70 degrees. So, wow, that's actually really hot. Maybe we'll open a window in here. I know this side's not gonna be that hot because the sun's not shining on it. See the difference? The sun is on the other side right now, so this is upper 70s, the other one's 90s. So I think we'll spray this one first because this is also the first one that's going to get cold. But yeah, we are definitely good in here. Okay. And that can on the back side is 83. Wow. Yeah. I shut the heater off a little bit ago, but I think I'm going to just crack a window. Because there is such thing as actually being too hot, because then it will cure too fast. And you'll end up clogging up the gun. I'm not an expert on this stuff, but to me it's kind of fun. I don't like all the preparation with the Tyvek suit, the goggles, the respirator, cleaning everything up. We're not going to clean up the floor in here. It's just a total disaster anyways. It's just a subfloor, so I'm not really worried about it. The only thing I'm going to protect in here is pretty much this camera, and that's it. So I'm just going to make sure the camera isn't underneath me while I'm spraying, and then I'm just going to go ahead and get going. All right, well, could have been worse, could have been better, but I got this whole side done plus about a third of this side on the top. And you'll notice I got the blue foam there. I had a couple cans of this laying around. It was actually about 6 months after the expiration date, but I figured I better use it up now. So 2 cans got me that, which is not an inch though. It's like a ½ an inch, but I also sealed up along the bottom there too with that, because I figured that was pretty important. So I just got this little section here. Probably 2 more cans of that Kraken would do it, but that's also not at an inch. So it is much easier to use those cans though than it is to use the kit, because you only got the thing in your hand. You don't have that to lug around with you, which is really annoying, because when I was trying to get up to the peak, the hose wasn't quite long enough. It was if the tank was right underneath of it, but I could see how another 10 feet would be great, because you could just leave the cans in the middle of the room and just do your thing and not worry about things. I mean, I still have this to worry about going around and stuff like that, so it is what it is though. The biggest thing that I think was just holding me back was the fact that my goggles instantly got spray on them and they were fogging up. So between the 2 of them, I really couldn't see that much. It was really hard to see what I was doing. That was probably my biggest complaint about the whole thing. I think the coverage could have been a little bit better. I've seen a massive amount of reviews online about all different kinds of spray foam, and the #1 complaint always is there's not enough coverage. You know, when you have things like this extra bit on the side here, that's really thick. And so, you know, when you got big clumps like that, and there's big clumps on the side, that all usually will add to your R value, so that when you do the next coat, you don't have to get on the sides so much. But that will make it so you don't get as much coverage. If everything was perfect, I think I would have gotten everything done, or very, very close to it. But it'll never be perfect. The temperature was good, and everything else was good, but you'll never get it perfect, because just the way it sprays so fast. You know, I would rather actually something sprayed a little bit slower. I'd rather take more time and not get so much waste. But it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it. Just sort of move on. You know, I'm almost thinking I might not even get that other kit. I ordered it, but I might cancel that order. I might just get a bunch of these cans of this Kraken stuff and just do another coat with that. It was just so much easier. You know, when you got a big 650 foot kit, that's $1,000. And if something goes wrong in the middle of it, you're really stressing out, because that's just a lot of money to be having here. You could have a can fall down the stairs, or you know, just something could happen. Whereas those little cans, I don't know how much they are, but I think they're like 20 bucks or less a piece. So even if you mess one of them up or they clog up or something, you just sort of move on. The trick is to just have 2 guns and one's just ready to go. And yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to do, is just use that Kraken foam or another foam that's very similar. They have a lot of new companies out that do that. I think we did a good job sealing everything up in here, and now we can move on to something else. There's just an hour and a half left of daylight, so what I want to do right now is just do a massive cleanup out here, and then I want to put some stone down all there, here, and going up the driveway. So one thing that I need to be mindful of here, this is a really sloppy area here, but I only want to put fabric up to about here, because this is going to be a porch, and I'm working on that next. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm digging the footings for this. So this area here, I might just backblade it and just put a sprinkle of some stuff on, just so I'm not traipsing around in mud. But other than that, the deck is going to come out to right here, 10 foot, 16 foot. So I don't really want to go crazy there. Ironically, this is not really that muddy right here, just because this is an area where you're always walking and stuff. Right there is muddy. Actually, probably because I was turning with the skid steer to work up there. So just turning everything just keeps grinding it up. It was really nice here. It wasn't muddy, but you can see the skid steer just tore everything up. So another thing I need to be mindful of is right here, next year, I'm going to put an addition here. It's going to come 12 feet out and 16 feet long. Same size building, just turn 90 degrees. So it'll be like an L shape. So from there to here and over there, there's no point in putting any fabric there. So no point in putting any fabric there or there. We'll put fabric everywhere else here though. But before I put the fabric down, I'm going to just smooth this out just so the fabric isn't going up and down and stuff. So just to give you an idea how cold it is already, it's not even dark and it's already freezing. It's going to be down in the lower 20s tonight. So we're going to work inside a little bit. So there you go. 4-man spray foam. So this stuff, I think the reason why they sold this so cheap is because it's about 1 3/4 inches. It's supposed to be 2 inches, but you know, 1/4 inch isn't going to matter too much. I could put another layer in there, and I've been going back and forth about that a lot. I just really don't think that I need to. So the deal is with this building, I don't need to meet the energy code because this is not considered a conditioned space, because I'm going to have a wood stove in here. So the wood stove is actually going to be my main source of heat. So it's a little different than a normal house, because I don't think you can get away with that with a normal house in New York State. But I actually called the New York State Code Division, and they actually sent me an email confirming that I could do this, that I don't need to meet the energy codes. What that means is that I can put as little or as much insulation as I want. I could put no insulation if I want. So 1 3/4 inches with it sealed up so it's super airtight, I'm good with that. It's got to be like at least an R11 or so, and then with it air sealed up, you know, it's actually quite a bit more than that, because you couldn't compare that to R11 fiberglass. There's no way. This is way better than that. You know, I'm not on the grid here. When I'm here, we're gonna be running the wood stove. So if it's really, really cold out, I'm gonna have some sort of auxiliary heat. I don't know if it's going to be the diesel heater. I don't know if I can really keep that in here. I don't know if it's legal. But I'm going to have probably like a direct vent propane heater. And it's only going to turn on when the wood stove isn't able to keep up, which is very seldom. I'm not trying to live in this all year round. This is going to be once in a while when we come up. So I'm trying to think of the future as much as I can by not cutting any corners. But at the same time, this I think could be one of those corners that I cut. So at this point, I'm ready to put in this shower base here. But before I do that, I need to insulate the rim joist here, because I don't want to do that over top of the shower. So I'm just going to insulate from there over to there. And I guess I'm just going to do the same thing as here. Just going to use the foam and fill it in. I was thinking of spray foam in that, but I don't have the right spray foam right now. So we'll just do what we need to here, and then we'll think about other options later, maybe the Kraken foam. All right, guys. Well, we could go on forever and ever on this whole project here, but at some point I got to break it up a little bit. So I figured now would be a good time. I got some things done. In here is kind of a disaster, so I got materials everywhere. It's just a big mess, but well, things are moving along. I do want to show you these skylights though. This is pretty cool. How much light these got in here. Like I said, my little mini office is going to be right here. There's going to be a wall right here. I'm going to have a computer desk right there, so I'm going to sit right there. My monitor is going to be like that. I'm going to be doing work right there with that directly overhead and centered on where I'm working. I did that specifically for that because, like I think I said earlier in the video, this property has been in my dreams for a long time. This is like a big part of my dreams and goals. I want to, not just this cabin, but this property. I want to do a lot of stuff here. I love it up here. This is like a mini Alaska. The Adirondacks is like its own world. They call it God's country. And it's like a mild Alaska. And I love like colder climates like that, like Alaska. I like the only shows I ever watch on TV, and it's very seldom, but when I do watch TV, it's like those Alaska shows. I really like that kind of stuff. So up here is about the closest we're gonna get without traveling thousands of miles. And like I said, we have 32 acres up here. So there's a lot of land to do stuff. And it's good land too. It's a lot of rocks, but once you get underneath the rock layer, it's nothing but sand and good draining soil. So eventually when I get a septic, it'll actually be pretty easy. But one thing I really like about up here is the evergreen trees. Mostly on this property, it's hemlock. There's not too many pine. There is a few, but there's also a lot of cherry. There is a lot of birch. And there's even some of those wintergreen trees. I don't know if that's the actual name for them, but there is a lot of cool trees and plants. And there's a lot of ferns too. I really like that. So on the next video, we're gonna install solar panels on the roof, and I'm gonna build the porch. I'm gonna get the inside most of the way finished, and I still gotta put in a wood stove. There's a lot of things I gotta do. There's gonna be several videos just on finishing up this cabin, and then after that, if the weather will let me, I'd like to do a lot more site work around here. So there's probably another 3 or 4 videos this year, or into next year maybe too. But then hopefully in the spring, I want to put this addition on right here. But we'll see. I may also enclose the porch and add another porch on the front of that. I'm not really sure yet. We're gonna have to kind of see how things go. Maybe I'll just do like a 3-season porch where it's just nothing but glass. I don't know, we'll see. But I'd also like to put solar panels on the porch too. I was gonna do a solar roof on that, but the measurements don't work out. And the theme in here is gonna be all wood on everything. Those wood doors are really expensive, but I really just want wood on everything, except for the exterior door. I just don't like wood exterior doors. They always get ruined. But everything else. And I may have to paint that door like brown or something, because it definitely stands out. So back here, I did a bunch of work that I didn't show you guys because I was just in a rush. But I had to make more room back here so that I can get the skid steer over and work. And that's another thing I need to do too, is I need to side this side and side the other side over there too. So that's definitely a lot of things that I need to do still. And over here is nice and flat. So I'd like to take down a bunch of these hemlock trees and just sort of expand around here, because I want to have a driveway where we can come through here and then loop around and come back. Because right now we can only back in or go frontwards in and back out. There's not enough room to turn around. So I guess I will have the addition here, so eventually I want to clear over there so that I can go around. Maybe just go around the whole building. I do like the trees being here, but at the same time, I gotta have some space to be able to put a vehicle in here. So we'll have to see how things go. We'll take it one tree at a time. What I did over here was dug a pit and got all this good dirt with sand in it out. And then I filled it in with some of the rocks from up there and then put this back over top of it. So then I had some of this left for over here. So we're gonna be leaving later today. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is 8 trips to be able to make this cabin to what we have so far. This is 8 trips up here. So if you think about it like that, it's like, what is it, like 160 miles each time plus going into town. We're looking at like 225 to 250 miles for each trip coming up here, between coming up here, going back, and going and getting materials and stuff. We're looking at a lot of miles and a lot of time spent traveling and on fuel and stuff like that. And I guess I should give you a cost breakdown of what we have so far. I really have no idea, honestly, but I have kind of an idea. I think as of right now, I got about 12 to 13 grand into this, which is a lot of money. Definitely is. Might even be a little bit more than that, honestly. It's definitely not less than that, though. But it is what it is. This is what I want, so there's really no regrets on it. I wanted to be able to build something to stay up here before the kids got older. I wanted them to be able to enjoy being up here, so you can't put a price on that. So eventually, maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, once we're really settled in, I'd like to get that cabin situated, because I grew up in that cabin. My parents basically built that just after I was born, so that's been in the picture pretty much my whole life. And it's sad that it's in the state it's in now. I wish we could have had that cabin to stay in, and I probably wouldn't have built this cabin. I probably would have stayed in that one while I was building something bigger back there. This is kind of the intermediate cabin, and eventually it will be a guest cabin. So I guess it's not the worst thing because it is a guest cabin, but that could have been the guest cabin once we move into the cabin that's going to be out there. That's going to be a huge project. You know, I put those sonotubes in 5 years ago, and I was really planning on a much more budget-friendly cabin, but I also didn't have 2 kids at the time, too. I had just found out after I put in those sonotubes that we were going to have Noah. So it kind of changed things a little bit. So we kind of maxed out those sonotubes there. But if you look at the specs, depending on what kind of soil you have, those things can hold up to like 19,000 pounds a piece. So we got 6 of them. That's definitely more than good enough. So this is also snowmobile country out here. This road, we actually own half of the road for like half a mile there. But regardless, that's a snowmobile road. And there's a lot of roads around here that you can ride snowmobiles and quads and UTVs on. And it's perfectly legal. I think as long as they're registered, it's perfectly legal. So with that being said, I do want to get some snowmobiles, and we'll have some fun up here snowmobiling. And next year maybe I'll get a UTV and a couple more quads and bring them up. I want to get like a shipping container to keep things in, and we'll be having a lot of fun. I used to go jet skiing up here back when I was putting the sonotubes, and we were jet skiing on a lake down the road. That was really fun because that's like crystal clear water. You can see like 20 feet to the bottom. It's really crystal clear. It's nothing like it around me. So there's a lot of stuff to do up here as far as fun. So once we get settled in here, we'll kind of balance out the work and the fun. Right now it's all work, but that's just because there's kind of a push. The biggest push is that camper is not meant for winter. I don't know how, but every morning I'm able to wake up and take a shower first thing in the morning, and it was low 20s the night before. For the last 4 days, it's been low 20s, and everything around is frozen. And the hose coming out from the tank for the fresh water is fully exposed. There's nothing insulating it. And somehow, by some miracle, I'm able to take a shower every morning, and I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how that works. There's no skirting on the bottom of that, so the bottom of that trailer is definitely getting frozen, but somehow that hose is still able to pass water through every morning. But I know it's not going to stay like that, so that's why there's a huge push right now, because pretty soon we won't have any water in that camper. And once that happens, then it's just no fun. Everybody is just miserable. I know myself, I like to take a shower every morning. It's something that wakes me up. It's something I've always done. I can get up and take a shower and get right to work. And if I don't have a shower to take, I'm like dragging my feet all day. So getting a shower in this is really important, and we're almost there. We got the water situated. I almost got the hot water situated too. I got everything to do it. I just need to find time to put the hot water heater in. I'm working like a dog from sun up to sundown, and then up to about 2 o'clock in the morning. That's my schedule here. Wake up in the morning, work all day outside. As soon as it gets dark, work inside until 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock is my time limit. So usually at home, I'm editing videos till 2 o'clock in the morning. So I figured up here, I'll just keep that schedule, but doing actual work instead of editing videos. So that's why my videos are pretty behind right now. I do have a bunch in the works. I just haven't had a lot of time to edit. That's why I'm hoping to get moved in this thing. That way, when it gets dark out, I can work on videos here. That was the whole goal. Because if I'm able to edit videos at night here, then we can stay up here a lot more. But between me pretty much being able to work from home and the kids are homeschooled, it's going to be pretty neat up here, because we don't have to worry about getting the kids home to school. We don't have to worry about getting me home to work. So we can pretty much come up almost whenever we want and stay however long we want. And that's really neat. I never thought I'd be in a position to do that. That's exactly what I need, though, to be able to kind of live up here part-time. Never thought that would be possible. So anyways, I'm burning daylight right now, and I need to get some sauna tubes in for the porch before I leave today, and it's already midday, so I got to get to work. So I guess that's it for this video, guys, and I will see you on the next one.